so my goal is just to kind of just create a community around those three topics and see how where this can go. Maybe like we can get some athletic trainers involved in some like pro esports teams and, create some connections in that community.
Oh yeah, I've never even heard of that. Are they out there?
I'm sure there are. I mean, and that's one of the reasons I was really interested in having you in here, just to see if we can um, just kind of dig in a little bit and see if you have any idea of like what injuries would come about from being a esports player, since you are an ergonomic specialist and you take care of other people that are in more like sedentary jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that's why I was really excited to have you on and just explore all these questions and just kind of see where this conversation goes.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, if it's not there, you might as well start it.
That's what I'm saying, and that's
That's the
exactly
best. You don't want it to be there. Actually, you want to be able to start it yourself because we live in a time where stuff like Shark Tank, all that stuff, kind of like motivates you. It's like, man, working for yourself isn't as bad. I mean, it's a risk, so you got to set yourself up for the ups and downs of it, but in the long run, it's your own baby. Like,
Right.
I think that's the American dream, right? Just starting something from nothing. I mean, obviously we're all men of color and not the typical, white man mentality, but so it's good to see, minorities rise up, right? Especially in athletic training.
Yeah, I agree 100%, bro. So let's start with that. Actually, let's start with you introducing yourself and just kind of let us know, who you are, what you do for work.
Yeah. So for everyone watching the recording, my name is Vander Castillo. I am a certified athletic trainer. I graduated from San Diego State University, and I got my master's from Cal State Long Beach in sport management. I am, like I said, a certified athletic trainer, corrective exercise specialist, certified ergonomics assessment specialist as well. So that's CEAS. I'm also right now. I started my business, V6 Industrial Athletic Training. When I first started it, we wanted to hit a bunch of different avenues, from hotels, grocery stores, automotive industry, all these kinds of people. But we kind of found our niche as going down the road in like the hotel industry. There was a need for that. So that's where our V6 Industrial Athletic Training is mostly focused towards right now, just because there is a need for that market. And housekeeping, there's a new law that passed in California that all lodging establishments had to have some kind of injury prevention program in place. So that actually fit in right exactly with what we wanted to do. One of my first cold calls, I talked to the general manager. She's the one who told me about it. She's like, "Oh, do you know about that new law?" I was like, "No." And she's like, "Well, you better look it up." And then I looked it up. I was like, "Man, this is the gatekeeper to everything I wanted to happen." So that's my
great.
foot in the door thing. So that new law, everyone has to have something. I mean, it could be anything. There could be a wide range of what you need to have, but with what we offer, it fits in perfectly because we do a lot of injury prevention, first aid stuff. It's a lot of musculoskeletal injury prevention. Obviously, with stuff like housekeeping, they make beds, clean rooms all day. So that's just something that we can, as athletic trainers, we definitely can help with repetitive injuries.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. And so a follow-up question with that, what made you want to start your own business and like, I guess just pursue something that wasn't there, right? And then you kind of found the niche, like you said, but initially, like the idea was
with so many ideas.
But you just wanted something on your own, right? So how'd you come up with that? Why'd you do that?
To be honest, it's kind of a loaded question. I've worked in a bunch of athletic training settings. I probably worked in all of them. When you graduate college, like, oh, you don't have enough experience. I'm like, man, I just worked like for free for 2 hours or for 2 years. What do you mean I don't have experience?
I feel that.
So yeah, exactly, right. So I think right out of college, worked at a PT clinic. I did internships in pro sports. Worked with everyone from like 90 years old to 15 years old. So anything and everything in between. And then I found my niche in industrial athletic training. I got my first break working at Disneyland. I was one of the athletic trainers
nice.
at Disneyland for 2 years or so with Select Medical. I don't know if you guys are, you probably heard of that company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have the contract with Disneyland. So we were there taking care of all their cast members, and that's from anyone from like a show to the people who serve you your churros.
Nice.
Everybody who works at Disneyland has access to athletic trainers, which is very nice. You don't see that at all, especially that really athletic trainers. They're not, they have their own little city back there. You have every from athletic trainer, PT, urgent care nurse,
Wow.
to a doctor. So it's actually its own little village behind there. It's pretty crazy, actually. They have a good format back there. And then, with each job, I just got more experience and more opportunities right after Disneyland, or working with Disneyland. I also worked at Anheuser-Busch, the beverage company, the beer company. So that was actually cool. I was the only athletic trainer there. I took care of maybe, I think, like 150 staff members. We just, their schedule was really different. They start at like 4 o'clock in the morning with their drivers. So that took some getting used to, starting up that early. But I have a lot of respect for those kinds of guys, because that's kind of stuff no one knows about. Like, those guys are driving trucks at 5 or 4 o'clock in the morning just to get you your beer. Like, it's insane. So you don't see that kind of stuff. I worked with everyone from, when you're at a grocery store, you see those, like, the beer bottles stacked up. That's someone's job to stack up all of those. I thought it was the people at like Bonds or something, that's their job. No, it's the beer company's people's job. Somebody comes there and actually organizes all the drinks and stuff. So that's they're called a merchandiser. They stack up everything, making sure that all the racks are filled up in grocery stores, liquor stores, everything. So we would go out to them, just do a lot of ergonomic observation, a lot of like morning stretches, or we call them micro breaks, because they're heavy, man. I mean, I know you guys just got out of college, right? You guys, you know how much a 6-pack and 24-pack weigh.
Right.
So Anheuser-Busch was cool. And then it was funny because my boss at Disneyland, he got a new job with another industrial athletic training company, and he was like, "Man, I'm gonna bring all of you guys on as soon as I get good with this company." And that's exactly what he did. He brought 5 of us on, like 5 of us.
That's awesome.
Like, he pretty much took half the staff in our department at Disneyland, and he just brought us over. And that was my next step, was at Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola is huge, especially in California. I think the one in Downey has the largest distribution plant in all of North America. So that was something I didn't know about. So if you ever drive past Downey, you'll see that big old Coca-Cola facility, and that's the biggest one. And that's exactly, they're literally making the Coke, and they're packaging it, and they're shipping it out. So I actually tasted Coca-Cola straight from the line. It tastes different, because when you like on a regular like 7-Eleven Coke, that's probably been sitting there for probably like a month or so, give or take. So the sugar's all dissolved inside, and there's a lot of sugar in there. Actually, it would come by the trainful. I was like, man, that's all sugar. I was like, jeez.
Yeah, I'm sure you see it all.
Soda, but yeah, we saw it all. Everything gets made there. And I think the hardest job at Coca-Cola that I saw people doing is, like, let's say you work at a 7-Eleven and you order different kinds of drinks, like Sprite, Coke, Diet Pepsi, whatever. There's someone's job to actually stack the pallet of your whole entire order, like lift each case by each case to make your order for you. And these guys are working like 12-hour days. I was like, man, that job must be tiring, first of all, and boring, second of all.
Yeah.
But man, it's someone's job to build that. And those people, we saw the most injuries in that, because it was a lot of lifting, bending, push, pull kind of stuff. So, I mean, my hat's off to those guys, because I know I couldn't do that job. So, yeah, definitely. So going back to your question, that's where my experience came from, and I was fairly new at Coca-Cola, and they were kind of new to the whole athletic trainer, at least the one my plant was in LA, downtown LA. And I don't know, I don't want to like throw anyone under the bus or anything, but their management was just not organized as much. And I was having trouble with like my bosses, they're like, hey man, like talk to your bosses. Like it was like there was bad communication, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, this is not the ideal situation for me. Like I'm babysitting like corporate people rather than actually helping people. So it was just a not the best situation for myself. So I actually stepped out of Coca-Cola, and then I had some time on my hands. And I was thinking, I watch a lot of Shark Tank. That's my jam right there. So when you see all these people just building stuff out of nothing, it's like, man, I could do something. Like athletic training is still growing. Like
Yeah.
it's such a young profession, and people don't know what we are yet. So I was like, let me see what we're doing over here. And we also do athletic training treatments in hotels. So like
Right.
when you travel with your sport team.
Yeah.
So just I was thinking about that, and the housekeeping industry, even like the grocery industry, that was another target audience I really wanted. So I was thinking, okay, let's make something out of that. Let's try to do a plan. Or a lot of it was just like writing ideas, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
if with anything, you just got to keep writing, like whatever idea flows to your head. And then I actually give it up to my grad school, because I was in grad school for sport management. So that gave me like the confidence to step out and do something on my own, because we had this marketing project where you had to make your own brand, like your own logo, like what you stand
Yeah.
for, everything. That's where V6 came from. V6, so my name is Vander, obviously, and then V6 is Vander. So there's the 6, and then the V6 also stands for, what we do, what our services are, which is injury prevention, CPR, first aid, ergonomics, risk assessment, stuff like that. So that's where the other 6 came from. So it has like double meaning, which is cool. And I was like, man, I like this. I'm gonna use this as my my own business logo. It was just for a project for school,
Yeah.
but I was like, man, I'm gonna keep this.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun with like making my own logo, because just like with anything in sports, if it looks good, like people are gonna be attracted to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I actually just rebranded like last year. So that part's fun, just the marketing aspect of it, because it's your own baby. Like you can that's one thing I think I do really well with my business. I present really well. Like whenever I do tabling and shows, people think that I'm bigger than I actually am. Like, man, how many, like, where's your headquarters? I'm like, headquarters? What are you talking about?
Damn.
Yeah, people think I'm actually way bigger than I really am. It's insane.
That's
So
a
that's
good
something I
sign,
think
though.
it is.
Yeah.
I think I take a lot of pride in that, because
Yeah.
since it's my baby, I'm gonna bring the best of everything I
Right.
got, whether it's equipment, polos, everything. It looks legit, because
Right.
people don't want to work with you if you look like you just put this together in the back of
Yeah.
your car or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So people are very trustworthy, and it just kind of what came together, to be honest, from ideas to be like, man, I could make some money doing this, like, and like thinking of like how much to price out. And as athletic trainers, everyone's always asking you, oh man, like, can you take a look at my shoulder or something, like on the side. You have friends that
Mm-hmm.
say, oh yeah, you do this, man, you can help me out, right? And I'm like, okay, I don't want to do it for free forever, but
True. Yeah.
so that actually started it, because one of my friends, she was a dancer at the community college, and she was like, oh man, my shoulder or my back or something, she wanted to get more flexible. So I helped her out with a bunch of stretches. Like we would meet up like twice a week. And that just kind of snowballed into my other friend asking me for help, and I just kind of gained clientele that way. And with referrals, that's how it really works. With businesses, people just like, oh yeah, your shoulder hurts, go talk to my guy Vander. That's actually, it feels really good too when people refer you.
Yeah, I
So,
work as a personal trainer, so I can also say that word of mouth does it for you, where if you're able to do a good job with one person, they tell their friends, and then they reach out to you, and then that's how you start building clientele. And it just feels better when it comes that way, rather than like you having to like market it through like Facebook
yeah.
ads and like do all these crazy schemes, ideas to try and get people, when you actually just work with one people individually, and they know you, and they know like the type of work you do. So it comes with a lot more power when you get that referral from that perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Philip and I actually work at FedEx. He just left recently, but we both worked there together, and we're industrial athletic trainers there. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, man. So that was something that I didn't expect coming out of graduation, I was just like, you know, I wasn't sure what I was gonna do, but
Mhm.
FedEx wasn't in my radar, and it just kind of happened. But
It
Philip,
wasn't in my radar neither. You know, that's no one thinks about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But
honestly.
Philip, if you want to jump in and kind of talk about your experience with that.
Yeah, working there was fun. Like the people were great. They appreciate the work that you do for them, and
Oh yeah.
they don't know what an athletic trainer is. They come into their clinic thinking, "Oh, I'm just going to get help by this person who's in the office. I don't know their credentials." And then, once you get to know them, you explain what an athletic trainer is. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know athletic trainers are a thing, and I appreciate you and your knowledge is so you have a lot of knowledge." So I don't know. Working there was a lot of fun because the patients were appreciative, and I feel like uh, being there kind of helps bring out like it shows. How do I say it? It spreads the word of athletic trainers.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of our main missions for V6 is, you know, to strengthen that what athletic training stands for. So if it has anything to do with promoting athletic training, like that's why I was so eager to sign up to talk to you guys on your podcast thing. So if it has anything to do with promoting athletic training or educating people, V6 is all about it. Because I could have literally named my business anything else. I chose to make sure it had athletic training in there
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
because, you know, everyone knows what a physical therapist is or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to justify that because Lord knows I've been called a physical therapist, and I'm like, that's not what I do. Let me educate you. Let me regulate. So,
yeah. No, that makes sense.
is it straight through FedEx or is it a third party company?
It's third party.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Who's it with?
Vibrant Care.
Oh yeah, Vibrant. Okay, where's your which UPS you guys are at?
We're at the FedEx LAX, the hub at LAX.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're taking like international shipping and also domestic stuff. Um,
Yeah.
I remember some packages coming from China, and then they would send it
Mhm.
to San Jose. No, it's Oakland, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're the reason we're on lockdown? You spread that over here, man?
Bro, probably. I remember employees were super scared when I was going on in the beginning. They were like,
Yeah.
"Man, I don't want to touch that China sort." But
Yeah, it's funny because select physical therapy, they brought me out to the LAX as well because they have a contract with Delta, and it's literally we have an athletic training room on
Wow.
the tarmac. I was like, man, this is crazy. Like I didn't think this would be on literally right next to a plane. So it's, you know, athletic trainers are so behind the scenes, no one really knows. So
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the crazy
it's
part, man.
crazy.
Yeah, but just to touch on a little bit of what Philip was saying, like we're so used to working with athletes in our programs that we don't think about the general population too much. And then once we go and experience the industrial setting and we actually work with people that maybe are not athletic, they maybe they didn't even play sports in high school, they don't work out now. Their general population, right? They just kind of work 9 to 5 and then go home and like watch TV and like just chill and hang out with their family. So
Mhm.
for them, when they come up with an injury, if we just educate them, their mind is blown. They're like my doctor didn't even tell me this. You know, like that's what I try to do. I try to explain to them what I'm looking for when I'm palpating, you know, the muscles, the bones, just anything I can, any information that I can give them so that they know what's going on with their body. And then also it helps me just to remember all the anatomy and physiology that I need to know. But they I feel like they come out of there feeling like, damn, I just learned a lot, you know. And I tell them the different treatments that we can do there at the office, and then if it's not enough, we can refer them to the urgent care and FedEx helps them out with that, you know. But I just feel like that was something that I didn't think about too much while I was in the program because I worked with athletes that
Mhm.
had access to athletic trainers, and
Yeah.
so they were more knowledgeable, and they were athletes, so they knew about working out, they knew about their body a little bit more. So that was just a new kind of found perspective for me,
Yeah, man.
being in that setting.
It's all about the standard of care that you can give your patient,
Yeah,
right? Because I mean, when you're an athlete, you get everything.
yeah.
Oh, you want to go see the dentist right away? Here, go see
Right.
Dr. H. Oh, you need an orthopedic surgeon? Oh, he's gonna come. He's gonna come to you instead of you go to his office.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But if you're an average person, you got to go there. You got to wait an hour in the waiting room. You got to, you know, your doctor's only going to talk to you for 5-10 minutes because he's got 30 other patients.
Yeah.
It's,
Right.
it's, it's the standard of care. It's how much, like, athletes get everything. It's crazy. So when I work with my non-athletic population, I feel like I'm giving them a better standard of care, and they appreciate that.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know, like you said, like, oh man, my doctor didn't tell me this. I'm like, man, it's just ice. What do you mean he didn't tell you the ice?
Yeah.
Your doctor didn't tell you the ice?
I get employees that come in like for it's not their first visit, right? It's like their second time coming in after a month of rest, and I asked them, so what did your doctor tell you when you went the first month? How did you get those 3 weeks off? And they're just like, oh, they just told me I need a rest. I was just like, yeah, but like, what was the diagnosis? Did they tell you what was wrong with your shoulder? They're like, no, they just said I needed rest, and they gave me some medication. And I was just like, well, you gotta
Oh,
ask,
man.
like, you gotta know what's going on with your body,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so then I take that responsibility of like, okay, let me actually do an evaluation on you. Let's check your range of motion. Let's check your strength. You know, let me tell you where I'm palpating and why, what I'm looking for, and then let me tell you what I think it is. You know, there's possibility it could be a couple of different things, and then let me tell you a couple of different treatments we can do. But you know, just that it's crazy to think about how just also people don't know what to ask. They don't know what to look for when they go to the doctor. They just listen to the doctor. The doctor is the number one, right? So if he
Yeah.
says something or she says something, like that's what goes. They don't even ask
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, definitely. One of the stories I had from working at Anheuser-Busch. So one of my merchandisers, that's the guy who stocks everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said he hurt his thumb, and then I had to go there on off hours just because I live pretty close there. So I was like, yeah, I'll just go in and check him out. Sure, no problem. And he's like, oh, the safety manager said, oh, he went to the urgent care. I was like, okay, well, all right, so I'll see him after. So after he came back, he told me the doctor said, oh, you can just take 3 weeks of rest too. The rest thing, man, is just crazy. It
Yeah.
was a clinic doctor. And then I was like, okay, well, let me just see where it hurts. You know, I did my standard testing for him. Dude, the guy tore his UCL ligament in his thumb. Man. The guy said the doctor told him that it was a sprain. And I was like, I'm not a doctor, but I know a torn ligament when I see one.
Yeah.
And then I literally called the doctor at the clinic. I was like, hey, doc, like, I'm an athletic trainer. This is my background, whatever. I was like, hey, I just palpated him. I did a couple stress tests, and it looks like he's got a torn ligament in his thumb. And then the doctor, he gave me one of those long pauses. He's like, you know, I think you're right. I was like, you're the doctor. Did you not evaluate him?
Right.
And he was going to go 3 weeks of rest and then come back. I got him to see the doctor again so we could schedule him for surgery within a week.
Yeah.
So imagine that guy not getting help for 3 weeks, but I got him into the surgeon within a week. So
Yeah. That's
then he was able to return back to work, and the healing process was better.
Yeah.
And the level of care he just received, man. He would have been 3 weeks out of work resting his thumb with a torn ligament, and
Yeah.
there was no cast or splint or anything.
Man.
I think there was a wrap. My fault. I think he just had a wrap. I was like, I'm not a doctor, so that was one of my first experiences of like going against a doctor's like evaluation. But you know, something that I learned, you always got to put in your 2 cents. Like, you're educated enough where, you know, you were taught how to do this, so you know there's no harm, no foul of just getting your own perception of an injury.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, and I was like, man, these clinic doctors, like, you know, you're kind of, what is the word? You're a number to them, to be honest.
That they get paid for the more patients they see.
The more patients they see, the less
Yeah.
tests they do.
Yeah.
You know, resting is cheaper than surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I did cost them more money technically, but he needed it,
Right.
rather than have a guy wait 3 weeks. So, you know, it's just one of those things. That's kind of the biggest difference in industrial athletic training you see. Is like, man, people get treated so poorly, especially in our healthcare system, whether it's, you know, X, Y, or Z. It's like, man, athletes really are lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. Like,
And-
I go with my grandma's like 85 years old. I go with her to her doctor's appointments, and I go with her to a podiatrist, and the guy's like, oh yeah, you just put this, this, and this. I was like, really? Why did we even come here, man? I could have told her that. Like, it's insane, man. So I treat my family. Basically.
You kind of have to, right? Because sometimes that's the easiest route to take. Like, let me help you out, and then let me help guide you towards this. Because if you go there by yourself, you know, you might not get the best care, because we've seen it through many different angles, from our athletes and our general population patients. But one thing that I wanted to point out is that, like, one thing that I learned that's very important as an athletic trainer is that we need to be advocates for the health of our patients, right? And
Absolutely.
like, you taking that, extra time to ask the questions and do further evaluation, and then having the just I don't know how to say it, but like, just having the courage to like call the doctor. Hey doc, I'm an athletic trainer, I know you're above me, but still, let me tell you what I found, and just let you know that you might have missed something here that could be taken care of quicker. And obviously he understood it, and he was like, yeah, you're right, like, it probably is something's torn, so let's get on back in here and
Yeah.
Oh,
back
it
to
was
work.
clearly torn, bro. This stuff went all the way back
Oh
to his
man.
wrist. I was like,
Yeah, but that's important, right? That's an athletic trainer's job, to be able to recognize those type of um, fall offs in the chain of healthcare,
Oh
right?
yeah,
That
absolutely.
that's where we get plugged in perfectly. We can see these things and help out our patients. But one last question I wanted to get in about your business before we move on is,
Yeah.
if you can give us a little bit of like business school right now. Like, how was it to start your own business? Like, did you get your business certificate? Did you get licenses specifically for athletic training? I know you started it here in Los Angeles in California. Now you're in Dallas. So how was that transition business wise?
So honestly, like you guys know, in your athletic training program, they don't teach you any of this.
They don't.
No, they
No.
don't.
They don't. They don't. In my athletic training program, no offense to San Diego State, that's my jam, but they didn't teach us anything about industrial athletic training. You
Yeah.
see that on the NATM, like, okay, whatever. Like, but so business wise, I actually probably learned it more in grad school, to be
Okay.
honest. Whether it was marketing, bookkeeping, XYZ, negotiating, or just even networking, I learned that probably more in grad school. That's why I said that gave me the confidence to, kind of step out on my own. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't just grad school. I had to learn from other people too. That was the best thing. Because, as an athletic trainer, it takes an athletic trainer to know an athletic trainer. Does that make sense? So one of the first people I reached out to was Alicia Pennington from Advantage.
Oh, nice.
You guys know her? Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Man.
I listened
She's
to
the
her
best.
podcast, man, and she's the one that kind of planted the seed for me to start a podcast. And
Oh
then
yeah.
we also had mock interviews CSUN in our second year, and she was
She was
my
there.
employer. Like, she was the one I was applying to work for, pretty much.
Oh, that's what's
So
up. Yeah,
so
I
she's
love
good.
Alicia, man. Shout
Yeah.
out to Alicia and Advantage right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she literally, I just DM'd her one day, and I was like, hey, can I pick your brain about how you started your business? And we got on a phone call like within a day, and she just told me, she's just like, oh, so what do you want to do? And I told her my kind of idea, and she was okay, well, if you want to make this legit, you should make it in like an LLC. You should look up like all the rules and whatnot. So literally, as soon as I got the phone, went on my computer, legalzoom.com, because that's what she told me.
Yeah.
Made an LLC. It's really easy. I was like, oh, okay, I got an LLC now. It took 20 minutes.
Nice.
I was like, man, so it's kind of fast. Things can happen very fast in business, but you got to learn on the way, man. It was a lot of, how should I say this? Like, not ups and downs, but just learning from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Like one of our first clients for V6, we met with this I think they were a barbecue chain restaurant, and they called us back. We made a pitch to them, and they called us back, and we were trying to get like 16 of their locations to get on board with our program. And I did the math. I was like, man, this is like over $250,000 contract. This is like our first big chain contract that we've ever met with. I was like, man, how are we going to do this? So it was just kind of crazy. And that didn't work out just because of, it's kind of harder for restaurants, because like, where are we going to put us in a restaurant? Like, that was the biggest Like, where can we put you guys? At least in hotels, they have rooms galore, man.
Right.
We go in a conference room, and that's all our place. So the spacing didn't work out. But I mean, just to have that kind of experience to pitch to a big brand restaurant chain company, I mean, that gave us a lot of experience and stuff like that. And you just gotta grow. You just gotta learn. Don't make the same mistake twice. But yeah, there's a lot of bumps and bruises kind of thing. You get. I mean, well, I did a lot of cold calling for my business because I don't know how else I'm trying to get in front of these people. So you gotta market yourself. Like, that's the reason why I said, like, I think I market myself very well because I look more legit. And then, so a lot of cold calling. People don't know what an athletic trainer is. I remember I talked to one company. They're like, "You want to put a gym in our restaurant?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "Where did you get that from?" So it was a couple people took a chance on me just for meetings, so that was good. But like once you get the meeting and you tell them what you're really there for, they're like, "Oh my gosh, wow, like that can really help." Like one of our first meetings with one of the hotel chains that we're with, I DM'd them on LinkedIn. I was like, "Man, I'm trying to network." One of my favorite phrases now are "closed mouths don't get fed." So if you're quiet, you don't get nothing. So I don't care how it makes me look. I'm gonna DM you. He's a corporate guy. I think he was a general manager of the hotel. DM'd him on LinkedIn. I have over like 2,000 friends on LinkedIn. I've never met probably like 80% of them. Yeah, man. So just LinkedIn, cold calling, basically stuff like that. I got a meeting with him and his staff, and they loved the idea, and so we got it to their hotel. And before this whole COVID thing happened, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. We were about to expand to like 15 to 20 hotels in the Southern California region because they liked that what we were doing with that one hotel we were at already, and it was helping them, and the numbers looked good, and they're like, okay, so how big can we scale this? This is the corporate guy. He is the regional corporate. I've never talked to somebody that high, like blue collar or white collar wise. So I was like, oh my gosh. So they were talking some big numbers and whatnot. So, you just got to look presentable. I actually legitimately met him face to face in a conference that we went to for the safety of hotel establishments. So that was amazing. The fact that, I did that tabling at that conference just to network. But the fact that he was actually there and he saw me face to face, he's like, "Oh, I know your business," because he's the one who had to sign off on our business for that one hotel. So I was like, cool. So he likes me. I personally have his cell phone number. That's how, connected we were. So it's a lot of networking, a lot of rejection, to be honest. I was like, man, what is this, high school? Am I getting rejected all the time? No, I'm just kidding. I was never rejected. But that's honestly what it was, man. There's people who don't understand you. There's people who, it's just ups and downs. Take your bruises, learn your lumps and whatnot. So, while my industrial business is growing, I also ventured off into more traditional kind of one-on-one patient clientele. So I don't know if you guys noticed that V6 Industrial Athletic Training, that's like the purple logo. We also have V6 Athletic Training, which is our gold side. Purple and gold because I'm a Laker fan. Don't get this. Don't let this shirt fool you. That's literally why I made it purple and gold. But that's more like the traditional me seeing patients one-on-one, and just until the industrial athletic training really made it, I was able to see patients one-on-one because I still love patients, seeing my own people. And I'm originally from Torrance, and there was this one place that was very nice because it was kind of like a co-working space. So I didn't have to buy my own building. I basically rented out space, and we shared it with like a PT, a chiropractor, a psychiatrist. It was pretty cool. Nice. So you're not paying for a whole bill. You're just literally paying for your room per each time you use it. So I was able to have, I look more legit than I thought I actually was. People were coming over. Yeah, come over to my store. My clinic. I called it my clinic too. Like I own the place. So.
But you were taking space, so it was your place.
Yeah,
right?
You're right. It was mine, man. I'm telling you that I look so legit. I had the right marketing stuff and
nice.
Polos, shirts made. Like that's what it's got to be. This is America. Like you're gonna get judged on how you present yourself. This is the bottom line. And and that's something I learned in grad school. Whatever you're in, you're basically in sales. I don't care what you do in life. You're in sales. If you're trying to get people to buy into you, you're selling yourself or your product or your service.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's one of the things you gotta
learn that
market.
From like you
Yep.
said, like making mistakes, getting rejections, people saying no all the time, cold calling, like all these things you got to learn when you're doing something on your own.
Yeah. So growing my individual one-on-one clientele, I was a volunteer basketball coach for the youth for like 10 seasons, 10 years, whatever.
Wow.
So I know a lot of, like, especially my area in Torrance. So I learned a lot of, young kids and their families. And, they grew to like me and they grew to know me. So when they found out I'm an athletic trainer, I have my own business. A lot of kids would come see me because, like, oh yeah, my kid plays club and he needs some recovery. He needs to get stretched out. XYZ. He has an ankle injury. So I was able to grow that side of that business really fast because, I was pretty big in that basketball network. So because of coaching for 10 years, everyone knew my face. So that grew very fast. I see a lot of basketball is my favorite sport. So I love seeing basketball athletes, and that grew very fast. And that's just one of the things. I remember the first time I charged somebody, it was like $40 for an hour, and then I eventually like just grew that more and more after I looked more legit and earned my stripes, I guess, and got my own clinic. Now I'm charging upwards of like $100 a session. And I remember the first person that actually paid me $100 for that session. I was like, man, I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah.
Someone, because like as an athletic trainer, like earning $100 in a day, that's like how many hours of work? That's like,
right.
No, so I just
true.
earned this, and I just learned this in literally less than an hour. And I was like, that's what you kind of like realize, man, I can't work. Because athletic trainers, they get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
They'll tell you to work for like $10 an hour. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know how much I can get paid in an hour with my education and what I can offer? Like, it's insane. And when you have a good product or service, there are people in this world that will pay for something like that.
Yeah.
So that's just one of my biggest things.
Yeah, I did that with personal training before I was an athletic trainer.
Perfect.
So I learned that idea where like as much as I like working for schools or working for companies, for me it's only part-time. It's never going to be a full-time thing for me because I know what my value is outside of that. And personal training taught me that, before I was an athletic trainer. So now that I'm an athletic trainer, I have more knowledge. I have a bachelor's degree, I have more paper to show. I can obviously just prove my value even more, and I can pursue just that same amount of clients that can, or same type of client that can pay $100 an hour, right? But I think it's about courage too, like being able to say, I know what I'm worth, and I don't want to get paid $10-$20 an hour, to start off like you did, right, with 40. Like, it's good to start off somewhere, but little by little you have to progress and bump it up so that you're getting what you're worth.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, it's crazy. I mean, industrial athletic training, it actually does pay more than traditional settings. Like, I remember with Coca-Cola, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was in the 90th percentile of athletic training salary, and I was like, man, I was like, how could they pay athletic trainers this much? But like, sports where I actually feel like they do more is getting paid a lot less. Like, I was literally in the 90th percentile, and I was only like 20-something years old. I was like, this is insane. This is like working in like the NBA or kind of thing. I was like, geez. So, I mean, I almost can't go back to traditional setting, kind of. Like, I still miss taping ankles and like that rush. But, you can work per diem contracts any day. Like, I still pick up per diem just because, I love basketball. I miss, whatever. That's every weekend has sports. Not right now, but.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true. I feel the same way, man. Because I'm in that same boat as you. I kind of want to start my own thing, and that's why I'm doing this. And I feel like what you're saying about marketing, it's the game right now. It's like you got to figure out how to put your face, your logo out there in places so that people can recognize you, and then that way when you tell them this is what I do, they're like, oh yeah, I heard about you or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
like, I never would have met you guys if I didn't start my own thing, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You just get to interact and network with more people, and bring something new to the table. Like I'm saying, we live in this 2020 right now. If you don't have a side hustle, then you must be making it pretty good on your regular. I
That's
feel like
true.
everyone's got to have like a little side hustle or something, because being a traditional athletic trainer, that's why people get burnt out, man. Like, that was my biggest fear as an athletic trainer. I was like, man, you guys get burnt out? Like, I've seen it. Like, some of the athletic trainers don't really care about their patients anymore. It's like, man, you're that burnt out, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's because it's long hours. Like, you don't see your family. I remember I wasn't seeing my family. That's why I was like, man, how can I carry this on forever? Like, obviously, when I first started athletic training, I wanted to work pro sports, like everybody.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the athletic trainer for the Lakers. But now learning what that really entails, you're like, man, I'm not gonna have time for anything.
Yeah. Like the team is your life. That's your baby.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I want to start a family. I want to have kids. I want to get married. So it's just your priorities change. You grow up.
100%, bro. That was everything you said.
Everybody's dream.
That was my timeline.
I know I wasn't the only one, man. That's the best part about it. I wasn't the only one who had that. That aspect dream.
And I got to experience a little bit of that working with the Raiders last summer, because they start like at 6 a.m. and they don't stop till 6 p.m. And then like even after 6 p.m. there's still like the opportunity, the availability for them to come in for some more treatment if they want. And so we got to be there just in case, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like a 16-hour day, like 6-7 days a week, and then the traveling, and it's just like it's a lot, man. You definitely sacrifice yourself for the job, like you said, your family comes second at that point.
It really does. And to be honest, that kind of mentality kind of sucks, because if you were in another profession and you're putting in 16 hours, you would want to get paid like you were getting 16 hours a day. It's kind of sucks where that's the mentality in an athletic training, where you got to be the first one in, last one out. But it's like, man, I'm only human. How am I going to make a living off like $40K a year? I saw that was the salary for one of the NBA jobs, or the NBA G League job. It was like $40K in LA. You gotta be kidding. That's just all rent.
Like, and you're not even gonna be at home.
Yeah, exactly. I might as well live at the stadium or whatever.
Exactly.
So that sucks. That kind of sucks. So at least when you're you have your own business, you can justify working 16 hours a day, because you know the end goal, or you know what you're working to. If you're working for someone else, it's like, man, I'm making your dream come true.
That's exactly it, bro. I agree with that as well, man. Because we all
I
got dreams.
I saw that on a meme. I was like, if you're not working for yourself, you're just working for someone else's dream. I was like, I like that. That made so much sense to me. I was like, But then everyone I hired was like, man, I'm making your dream come true. I was like, hey.
You got to start somewhere, though, right? They can learn from you. They can learn,
exactly,
how to start their own business, their own hustle from you. So you got a lot of value, too, just with that experience that you have now building something.
Yeah, and then to be honest, with my athletic training team, I like to treat them like really well, whether it's the pay or the communication or like whatever they need. Because I know, like I said, it takes an athletic trainer to know an athletic trainer. So I'm not going to pay you 20 hours a day or an hour for your job. Like, I'm going to pay you the right, amount. And then one of the first people that I hired part-time, she came on with me. And then like I told her, we'll start her out at this hourly. And then when she left, she got to tell her new job, like, oh, hey, this is what I was getting paid at my other place.
Yeah.
I need this at the minimum. They're like, okay. I was like, see, I just set you up for success.
Yeah.
I just set you up for success. And you already have experience, because in the industrial athletic training side, like, most people don't have experience in industrial athletic training. So if you are someone with experience, man, they'll love you. They'll bump up that, salary. I mean, it's not, don't get me wrong, listeners, not everything's about money, but
but it's nice,
We gotta make it though somehow.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have rich people problems than poor people problems.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm with you. So yeah, quick short story, man. I actually worked as an EMT for a year for MedReach, and after that 1 year, I got a 3% raise. So I was making $11 an hour. After a year, I was making $11.33. So,
Mm.
so I quit, right? I was just like, man, like at that point I was about to get into the athletic training program at CSUN, so I quit that job. But then I got into that mindset, that quote that you just said about like, if you're working for somebody else, like you're making their dream come true. And so I started
Yep.
my own EMT, like per diem work.
Oh,
uh,
really? Nice.
so it was called Express EMS. and
Mm.
and I got the business certificate. I didn't get an LLC at that point. It was just under like a sole proprietorship. And I started going to mud run events, and I was working for $50 an hour at the mud run
Wow.
events, bro. And it was mind blowing, right? It was just like, how is this possible? But it was there, right? And I just grabbed it. I was just like, yeah, I can do this. I'm an EMT. I've been doing it for years, so I got the job, right? And then I started working for a feature film, and I
Oh,
was making
nice.
like another like $35 an hour. It wasn't as much, but it was a lot longer hours. Like the mud run was just like 3 hours.
Yeah.
But the feature film was like a 12-hour day, so it was bank. It was good money, and it was chill because I was just watching them shoot a film. I wasn't doing much. So I had that experience of me myself working. And then once I got that experience, I was just like, okay, let me expand a little bit and let me hire somebody so I can look for more work. And so I hired some of my coworkers at the ambulance company, and they were getting paid $11 an hour. I was paying them $20 an hour,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I'd much rather work for you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, bro. And then same thing with the feature film. I was paying them the same thing, but I was still making some money from that. But anyways, it's just a quick story of like I've been through that. I've been, through that experience where like I wanted to create something. I tried it out, and it worked out, and it was a great experience. But then I started the athletic training program, and I didn't really have time to continue
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Uh, but now I'm starting something else relating more to athletic training.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
but
crazy.
yeah, man. So it's the way to go. I think it's money's out there. You just gotta find it. You gotta work for it. You gotta be creative and come up with ways to go for it.
I'm telling you, man, that Shark Tank mentality, oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Like,
yeah.
there's so much money to be had in the world. Like, you just want a piece of that pie. It's like I
Oh
said,
yeah.
it's not about money, guys. Don't get me wrong. It's
Yeah.
not, but no one's gonna work for free. Let's try it that
Exactly.
way. You wouldn't
So
work for free.
so let's get into a little bit of ergonomics. So like I said, I want to reach a little bit of the gamer community, and so a couple of questions that I have for you are just like, um, first, let's start with desk setup. Like, what are some things that you would look for it, to try and help somebody set up like a good desk setup so that they don't experience lower back injuries or like carpal tunnel or anything like that?
hmm So I actually I did a webinar yesterday on ergonomics for the home job setup, basically, because everyone's working from home now,
Hmm.
and you probably don't have that ergonomic setup. You probably do at your job, more or less. So that was a good little webinar to go to, because I'm like, oh yeah, that made me think a lot, because it's kind of expensive to, no, not expensive, but you got to have the right equipment to make sure your desk is ergonomically set up. So if I had to simplify ergonomics in like 2 or 3 words, it would be, hold on, I wrote it down. It would be neutral fit for a person, whatever neutral fit is for them. Because obviously everyone's different, big, tall, whatever,
Mhm.
short or tall, I mean. So ergonomics is finding the neutral fit for that person. So if you ever have like a desk that kind of sucks now, if it doesn't adjust, it's probably not ergonomic for you, to
Yeah.
be honest, because they didn't build it specifically for you. They probably built it for, anyone between 5'5" and 5'9". You never know. And you're 5'4". What are you gonna do?
Hmm.
Now you're
Right.
putting yourself at risk. So it's just one of those things. A lot of companies are going with stuff that adjusts, because it's not a one size fits all thing. So whether you have an adjustable desk or adjustable chair, um, that's the way to go now. Just because, like I said, everyone's different. From someone like your desk might be different from his desk, and
Right.
that what works best for you. So just and stuff with like injuries, getting stuff to prevent that is just knowing what neutral is. So neutral is the way I tell my patients is don't see wrinkles. So that could be with anything. So think about your neck. So if
Okay.
you're leaning at your desk more often, you see probably wrinkles in my low or the front part of my neck, right? So that's not good. You want to be, nice posture where see no lines, no wrinkles.
Okay.
When you're using a mouse on a computer and you're doing this because your mouse is higher and you have that little pad thing, and you see wrinkles in your wrist, and that's not good. See, the rule is no wrinkles. You want to be nice and flat, and that's that neutral wrist. So I go with no wrinkles just because people understand that better. They're like, okay, I see wrinkles. Oh, can't do that,
Yeah.
So everything, no wrinkles, and obviously posture is important. You want to be 90 degrees from your elbows. So it's really nice to have a chair with, what's it called? I forgot.
Like the hand rest, the elbow rest?
Hand rest, the elbow rest, yes. It's really good to have that. Most chairs don't. And if they do, they're not adjustable. So you think, oh, okay, I have an armrest, that's fine. But what is your armrest doing? You're resting your arm here, but your computer just is up here.
Mm.
So that's wrinkles.
Yeah.
That's wrinkles right here, your elbow and your shoulders. So you want to be nice and level. Your screen's nice and level. They call it eyebrow height. So you want to be your screen is like right at eyebrow height. That way you're just looking, I think they said 10 degrees down, and that's normal. That's a good position for your eyes to be in. And then stuff that you use, let's say your mouse, you want to put it, they call it zones. So green zone is everything right in front of you. Stuff that you're going to use all the time where you're at your desk, your mouse, your keyboard. And then there's that yellow zone where maybe you don't use it all the time, but you do use it like your phone or your headset or your headset. So that you put it there. And then there's that red zone where you don't really use it all the time, like maybe like a stapler or your printer, something like that. That way, you don't have to reach all the time. A lot of reaching.
Yeah.
So you decrease that forward posture, and then that way you don't get that upper cross syndrome. So you get that forward head tilt, and then you got upper trap pain, and the list goes on, man.
Yeah.
Like I see it all the time, but I'm not a jerk where I'm going to correct everybody I see. I'm not the posture police, but I'm just like, I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Right.
Yeah, I literally saw this girl doing this on her phone, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that hurts me."
Yeah.
I was
that
like,
neck.
"What is this girl the neck?" I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
So I tell everybody in my family, like, "Oh, go
Yeah.
neutral." The keyword is neutral.
Got it.
Neutral,
So
no wrinkles.
if somebody needs to like bring their computer up, or they need to adjust stuff, like is it easier to just like put boxes or books or something like that if they can't like buy a new desk?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, in the webinar they're like, "Yeah, use books, whatever you got."
Gotcha.
You gotta fake it till you make it. Right?
Yeah, because
I tried getting an adjustable table. That thing's like $1,000.
I was gonna say, because I'm sure they're expensive to get those.
Oh, they're super expensive. So yeah, books, stuff like that. Just make sure everything's closer to you. Like I said, that green zone, yellow zone, red zone. That's probably the best way to decrease a lot of those injuries. Because think about it, if you got a phone that you're using all the way over, you're just hurting yourself. Repetition. That's another thing about ergonomics. It's frequency and duration. So how many times you do it during a day, and how long you do it a day. So imagine someone on the phone all day, and they're doing this.
Right.
Yeah, and
No
wrinkle
dice.
on the wrist.
Wrinkle on the wrist, wrinkle on the neck.
On
You're
the
going to
neck,
get upper trap pain, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about being certified in ergonomic assessment. Like I said, guys, not all about money, but I saw how much people charge for ergonomics, like a desk assessment. They're charging like $200 an hour, and that blew my mind.
Wow.
Damn.
Man, I gotta get on that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? That's insane. Like, you can just be a consultant and do ergonomic assessments and just make bank off that.
But it is very detailed work, right? Like you'll bring like a measuring tape, and like you have suggestions for chairs and desk and all of this stuff. Like it's not easy work.
But see, the nice thing about being an athletic trainer and having this is I can put in both. So mostly in ergonomics, they would just do the measuring stuff and, just making sure that's straight away. But I also look at your musculoskeletal system and working for 8 to 10 hours a day on a desk, your back's still gonna hurt. And like I don't care who you are, sitting down, like I said, sitting down, or they said sitting down is the new smoking. So you got to still look into that. And that's where athletic training comes in. You can mix and match that. You can tell them how to stretch properly, how to talk to them about like how the blue light hits your eyes, and that's another concern too. That's one of the things I was looking at for gamers, all that blue light. How long do you guys play video games? Like more like 8 hours or whatever, 5 to 8 hours. That's a lot of blue light in your head. I bet you if you're a gamer, like hardcore gamer, you can play with getting headaches, not sleeping well. That's because of that blue light, man. That's one of the newer things that I'm reading about. That blue light is no joke.
So what's the solution for the blue light?
Decrease time on the screen, or they're kind of like you can get like blue light glasses that reflect that blue light away, because it'll mess with your head.
Okay.
Yeah. So because I don't know about you, but when I stare at my computer for too long, I'm like, man, I gotta get out of this. I got a headache. I got something, man. So just simple stuff like that. Getting some sunlight. I don't know about the gamers, but I'm pretty sure they're not getting enough vitamin D. And then an ergonomist is not going to tell them that.
Right.
Because an ergonomist doesn't know that. Vitamin D, I can get that in vitamin, like, or whatever. So.
No, that makes sense, because the ergonomic certification, anybody can really get it that knows a little bit about the body, right? You don't have to have like a bachelor's degree, or you don't have to be an athletic trainer or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So being an athletic trainer and having that, like you said, you kind of just bring the whole package in to help them in a more like whole perspective, not just one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, that's why one of our for V6 industrial athletic training, we want to reach out to like admin buildings, because let's say you're just all admin and you're on the phone or computer. Those people are getting hurt way more than athletes are.
Chronic injuries.
Chronic musculoskeletal overuse pain, like there's way higher numbers than torn ACLs and whatnot in sports. And think about it, how many athletes are there in the world compared to how many general population admin people are in the world? That's why everyone's trying to take care of athletes, but look at this population, man. There's a need for these people to get taken care of, and they're not getting taken care of the right way. The system is broken. And I'm not here to fix the system, because that's more than one man can do, but I can help one person. I can do that.
Yeah, man. And I feel like from that perspective that you're talking about, as an athletic trainer, you can save the healthcare system so much money, so much time, by being able to provide some of those like preventive assessments, like an ergonomic test on different people, so that they can prevent injuries, so they don't have to go to urgent care or to the doctor because their lower back is hurting, or carpal tunnel, or neck issues, right? So you save the healthcare system a lot of money and time.
Yeah, because one clinic doctor appointment, I'll try to get exact figures, but they don't want to tell you that kind of stuff. But it averages around like $500 a visit. So if you just saved one person $500, or one company $500, you've earned more than your paycheck already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, having you was worth their time to go on, so to hire you. Like when we're at hotels, we see in an 8-hour period anywhere between 16 to 30 people, depending on the schedule. But imagine if each one of those people had to go to urgent care or the clinic. We just saved them like $5,000 that day, and we only it only cost them a fraction of that.
Right. No, that's
Plus,
true.
we're educating them. We're not treating. Sorry, that's the wrong word. We're not to say treat. We're not in industrial athletic training. Treating is not the word. It's first aid. First aid is the magic word. Yeah. I remember learning that. They're like, shh, don't say that. Don't say that. We don't diagnose.
Right.
I remember one of my Disneyland patients. I was like, yeah, man, you got a herniated disc. He's like, oh, don't diagnose it. Like, I know it is a herniated disc, but you can't tell him that, because then he's going to go to the doctor and say, hey, the athletic trainer said I got a herniated disc.
Yeah.
You can't, even though it's just a lot of political stuff. That's the thing that kind of sucks. That you got to tiptoe around your words, because that's not your place, I guess. But if you, like I said, I know a torn ligament when I see one. I didn't need to go to medical school. to learn that. So
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be selective with the words you use. Like I tell my guys, we're not allowed to use treatments, first aid. Everything is first aid with athletic training, especially with no licensure and all that stuff. So
Right.
it's crazy, like crazy.
Do you have a question about this, Philip?
Not in particular. I mean, besides, I mean, you already touched upon like what the common ergonomic mistakes are, you know, looking at wrinkles. But I guess one question I can ask is, what are the most common injuries that you would see for hotel workers?
It could be a wide range, but so I do a bunch of data analysis after each visit that we're there on what the common injuries, because I want their management to know that, so that way we're tracking that. Some days it varies, but if I had to, like, you know, overall, I would say low back and shoulder.
Okay.
Low back, because look, when you're making beds, these people are bending over at the, not at the waist, they're just bending over at the low back, and then they're lifting the mattress and then pushing the linen underneath, and that hurts your back and your shoulders, because it's like a king mattress. So most of them have like kings or queen mattresses in the hotel rooms, so that is very common. And then, you know, it's heavy. If you ever push the cart for a hotel housekeeper, they're heavy. They're like over 50 pounds. And these are like literal old ladies, man. This is like grandmas doing all that kind of work, you know. They're like abuelitas.
And they're doing that multiple times in the day, right?
Yeah, and then they have different rooms. I'm sorry, they have like more than 20.
Yep, I asked them. I was like, how many rooms do you guys do? Like, 8-hour shift. I forgot what the exact number was, but they average around 2 to 3 rooms, depending on if it's a full clean out where they have to change everything, or if they're staying and they just have to, like, you know, fix the bed a little bit. Depends if it's a long stay or a full turnover. So they could have, like you said, 15 to 20 rooms, and that's overuse for like the average age that we probably see anywhere between like 40 to 50 is the average age of someone, of a hotel housekeeper. And, you know, you're asking your grandma to lift a king size mattress and push a over 50 pound cart and bend over and reach and clean the windows. Like, you're just asking for trouble. And these ladies, they're not going to, first of all, they don't complain about it because that's not in their culture. They're hardworking people. I give them so much credit. They don't like to complain about it. And, you know, they don't want to miss out on work because this is how they feed their families. So when we go in, they love us. They're like, oh my gosh, they're here, you know. I mean, we got to educate them, because then sometimes they come in like, oh my God, we're going to get a massage. I'm like, no. No. That's what I regulate. I tell them, we don't get massages. Because I'm not a masseuse. I'm not going to just go to town on you for an hour. No,
that's true.
I do not do that. So it's very clear what our purpose is there for, to help them. You know, and we are seeing good numbers from them, to be honest. I mean, I'm not giving my business all the credit, because they take care of their employees over there, but, you know, we do a large part of why they're not getting hurt so much.
Nice. That's awesome.
Whether it's stretches or you know, just changing habits and just talking to them. Honestly, you just got to talk to these people. And that's the nice thing about my business. That's one of the biggest things that corporate guy I talked to really complimented me on, is because when he saw the interaction between our athletic trainers and their housekeepers, they saw it was like a really good one-on-one connection. Like, we weren't treating them as a number. Like, we were literally talking to you like, hey, how do you feel today? What can I do? What's the hardest part about your day right now? Like, who no one ever asks their employee that. Are you kidding me? Like, no one.
They don't have time for that, right?
They don't.
It's like everybody's moving so fast, they gotta go somewhere. But your job is to get to know them, so they can tell you, this is bothering me, right?
Yeah, it's all about building that rapport with them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I remember the very first event that we went to. We set up, did a whole table setup, brought a couple tables out, and everyone's just like, what is this? Like, they did not know what it was. They said the massage thing, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then it took one lady, just one lady. Like, we weren't busy the first like 30 minutes. I was like, I got kind of nervous.
Yeah.
It took one little old lady. I got a pain in my shoulder. Like, what can I do for it? Any stretches I can do? Man, you should have seen the smile on her face when she walked out of there.
Yeah.
It was literally like high school. She told all her friends. She was like, "Ora, pásale, pásale." She was everything, man. It was so cool to see that.
Oh, that's
like,
great.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing about industrial athletic training, especially to be one of the first people there. They don't know who you are, but
Right.
all it
Yeah.
takes is one. You impress one person where you help them. Good news travels like wildfire over there, man.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
It was
Yeah,
great. That was a great feeling, though.
especially when you're taking care of pain. Like, these people, they live with pain, and if you're able to help them for like an hour while they're working to relieve some of that pain, it's just
Oh
like
yeah,
you made their day.
yeah. To decrease their pain from like a 6 to a
Hmm.
2 or 3, that's
Yeah.
you basically a magician to their in their
Exactly.
eyes, because
Right.
they would have went home and like complained about it.
Yeah.
That's all they would have done. I was like, what would you have done if we didn't come here? Nothing. We just went home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take
And that's the
Tylenol.
sad part, because yeah, exactly.
Take drugs.
Tylenol,
Yeah.
ibuprofen, rest.
Rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one of these memes. I think it was one of the like medical accounts that I follow. It's like, if your doctor's telling you to rest the whole time, you better get a new doctor. It's all about,
Yeah.
they call it movement medicine for a reason. You can't just be resting muscles. You're not going to get back that way, So it makes
Yeah.
sense, man.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I'm all about it.
All right, so I got one last question here for you.
Yeah.
So I'm part of this Discord with gamers, and I told them that I was going to be interviewing ergonomics specialist. So one of them said this. His name is Panda Proper, and he said, "What do you think about gaming chairs? Because I spent 300 plus on my secret lab chair, and I think it sucks ass." So what do you say to that?
Gaming chairs are sold based on looks, not
Yeah.
functionality. Oh man, it's got racing stripes. Oh, it's got speakers in the headrest.
Yeah.
That's not going to help you if you sit on that thing for 5 to 8 hours a day gaming. I mean, they look cool. Don't get me wrong. I would love a chair like that.
Yeah.
But as far as ergonomics, I think they are the trash, because
Got it.
they don't look at that. Plus, they think, oh man, you guys are young. You're not going to get hurt. You're not going to have low back pain. But pain is universal. That's one
Right.
thing I learned. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can be in pain. So, yeah, man, let's get together. Let's build an ergonomic gaming chair.
Hey,
Let's
let's
sell that
do
for
it.
Yes.
millions.
Down.
Shark Tank.
Collab.
Yep, collab right there. I'm telling you, probably make a lot of money on that.
I'm
Just
sure.
'cause- Hey man, let's do it. Let's get off this call. Let's
Start planning.
I mean, we
Yeah.
could have racing stripes and music in the headrest still, but I'm gonna get you like better lumbar support and elbow support and the headrest, man.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of room for athletic trainers to infiltrate the gaming scene, because the way I see it is just like they are athletes, you know what I mean? Like they practice so that they can perform during tournaments, right? So it's just we're not used to recognizing them as that type of athlete. Like it's still a mindset we got to get into of thinking of them as athletes, right? But they
Hey,
are.
man, absolutely. How much money esports makes now? I was like,
That's what I'm
what?
saying.
I just saw
Yeah.
this little kid make millions of dollars on what's it called?
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Fortnite. I was
Yeah.
like, are you serious? Man,
Yeah.
you're younger than I am. How do you have more in the bank than I do playing a game? Oh
Bro,
yeah,
yeah.
esports is there, man. Like when I saw the NBA have their own esports league, I was
Yep.
like, wow, this is getting taken seriously. And
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
don't have to be the biggest, strongest, and fastest to play esports.
It's all in your mind. It's how creative and how much imagination you can have, and then how quick you are with your fingers, and that comes with
Right.
practice.
Yeah, and then imagine tapping into what you know as an athletic trainer in sports psychology, because like you just said, it's all in your head. Imagine
is.
helping an esports athlete in the sports psychology aspect of that, whether he won or lost or trying to get back.
Mm-hmm.
That's another avenue athletic trainers can get down on.
Yeah, man. I definitely think there's a wide like open space here for athletic trainers to just explore and ask questions and learn, and then see how we can solve some of their problems, because even just the strength and conditioning aspect that we can bring for them outside of gaming, like let's help you with your health in general, so that you're
Your
quicker, you're stronger,
performance.
and then once you're like sitting for the game, just like all that work you put in to be stronger, to be faster, to be more conditioned, it's gonna help you for your actual gaming. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Mhm.
reflex.
Exactly.
Reflexes, so that's, I think, there you go right there. There's your $1 million
Shark Tank.
idea, right?
Yeah.
I'm
uh,
taking some on the chair though. That's
oh
that's
yeah.
that's half and half.
Let's go 50. I'm down.
I'm gonna get Mark Cuban to buy 20% equity on that. We'll get those shipped out.
Yeah, there
That's
you
actually
go.
not a bad idea, man. I'm telling you, Shark Tank was like, that was the show for me where I was like, man, you guys are making money on XYZ, like,
Right.
and there's so much room for athletic training. That's the good and bad part about athletic training. There's so much room to grow,
Yeah.
but it's so ambiguous to some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to take those lumps. But I mean, like I said, we live in 2020, man. If you don't have a side hustle,
You're
You're doing
missing out.
something wrong. Yeah, you're missing out.
You're missing
yeah,
out, man.
you're either missing out or you probably got it that good where mommy and daddy just took care.
True. Yeah, you're right. You don't worry about it. Like,
Yeah, but it's crazy, man.
yeah. Cool. Well, that's it on my end. Philip, do you have any other questions?
No. Oh well, actually, yeah, I have one. So let's brainstorm on this ergonomic chair. Do you
Yeah.
want like a chair that's that can be modified, like every single part of that chair can be movable to the person's neutral position?
Yeah.
I would
mean,
say so, yeah.
you would have to get like, we got to find like a good engineer that'll help us modify that kind of stuff, because everybody has maybe one thing of that, whether it's back support or massaging the back. I'm pretty sure some gaming chairs
I'm
have
sure
some
they do.
massaging in the back. But we want to be like all inclusive. We want to build like a premium. Premium is the word, man. Like if you could
Yeah.
build something where it's all inclusive and has everything from the armrest to the headrest to vibration, heat, all that stuff, plus those like racing stripes, whatever.
Yeah.
Get it sponsored by like Monster or Bang or something.
Or Tesla. Let's get an
Oh.
AI on that autopilot.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to stand up anymore. Your chair will take you anywhere you want.
Serious.
Control it with your phone.
That's another thing I learned about business. Like, you can have a good product, but if you slap someone else's product that already has that branding in it, your product just went miles away. Because I mean, like, think about like a Nike shirt. You take away the swoosh logo, it's just a shirt. Like, to be honest, let's get real. It's a shirt, and it's a whatever shirt. You put that Nike swoosh on, and you're like, oh man, this shirt is good. I'm gonna get this to the gym. Like, seriously, it's all about branding. That's the difference. I saw this thing online. It was between branding and marketing. Branding is what you stand for. Marketing is what you're trying to sell.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're full of quotes, man.
I'm telling you, I don't like reading long books. That's probably one of my downfalls. But I like reading short quips and quotes and stuff like that, because that's stuff you remember more, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're
like,
meaningful, right? They're powerful.
They're meaningful, absolutely. Yeah. But there's another short thing I read. You can't just read all these meaningful quotes without the action. Like, these meaningful quotes aren't going to motivate you enough to. There has to be action in it.
Dude, so I just thought. So I've been doing like this wisdom quotes on my Twitter account for the past like 150 days, and today I thought of one, and it was just like, all your thoughts are equal until you take action.
I like that.
Right? Because you're always thinking, but they don't mean anything until like you put something to use. You actually take action on one, and so that's what I was thinking. But it kind of it goes with what you're just talking about.
That makes perfect sense. And speaking of quotes, like I have like a to-do list for every week I do, and I always have a quote right in the top to start the week off, or just remember something, whatever quote it is, whether it's work hard or something simple as that, or something more meaningful. I always have a quote. When I was in college, I had my roommates. I always posted on our like message board like quote of the week.
Hmm.
And then whenever we would hear something dope, we were like, "Oh man, that's going on the wall." I'm like, "Yep, that's the quote. That's the quote of the week. It could be something meaningful, something dumb, something funny, like
Yeah.
whatever motivates you or keeps you on track, man. Everyone's different, so
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. But I mean, as far as the chair, man, like stuff like that, just getting an engineer to. Well, we got to see what the market is out there. That's what I would
Yeah.
do first. I would see what gaming chairs are out there. What's the most popular gaming chairs, and then we can like we want to play on the ergonomic thing. So that's our niche is this chair is more ergonomic for you. Like you won't get back pain or neck pain with our chairs. So that's why we can change it or evolve it. That's the first thing I would do. I would see what's on the market right now. That way we're not just making any other chair. We want to be different. We want to stand out.
Yeah.
And then let's make friends with some big gamer out there. Give him a prototype, and then he'll market out of that. And you'd be surprised all these influencers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I like that point because as athletic trainers, that's our perspective. That's how we're different. We're athletic trainers first, gamers second, right? And so we're building a chair that we know is going to be more comfortable and it's going to reduce the risk of injuries if you use it properly. Yeah. And if you have trouble with it, reach out to us. We can come and fix it for you for $200 an hour.
Are there athletic trainers in esports?
So I don't know, but I think there are some like bigger organizations. Like there's one called Complexity that works with the Dallas Cowboys. That I know that they have like a strength and conditioning coach for their esports teams. They got like 10 esports teams because each game has their own team. So I know that as esports grows, I think they're getting more involved in like keeping their esports athletes healthy. Exactly, because they're investments now. All these esports athletes are investments for these organizations, so they got to keep them healthy and strong so they can continue to play and make them money. So
yeah, man,
it's turning into something that's like the NBA and MLB and all these pro leagues. The esports is coming up,
Yeah,
I believe it. One of the craziest things I've seen since I've been out here in Texas, there is an athletic training company. I forgot what they're called, but they have this big old like tour bus kind of van for bull riding. I was like, man, those guys have athletic trainers.
I've seen that. Yeah.
I forgot his name. I'm sorry. I would shout him out right now.
I forgot his name too.
It's like a black and a red company. I was like, that is cool. Because obviously those guys are getting destroyed by those bulls. So they need somebody. And it literally looks like an athletic training room in their truck.
That's awesome.
Their big old van. I was like, that really is awesome. That's a niche.
That's something you can do for restaurants. You say you didn't have space. Well, there it is. You can make your own athletic training van with space.
Yeah. Going back to that, one of our ideas was having like a little headquarters at their corporate headquarters and just building something off of that. But, that didn't come to fruition. I personally like the hotel industry better just because there is space for us.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we're not like, we have a lot of space. They give us the whole conference room. We do trainings there. We do ergonomic training as well. So like quarterly training, they hire us for that, and just so much space. Like it's perfect for us. Like we can put in tables and we're not cramped. They know where to find us, and hotels are nice, like luxury hotels.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So are you a gamer, or were you a gamer? Do you play any?
Man, honestly, I used to be when I was like younger. I was all about Counter-Strike, NFL Blitz. What else was I about? NBA 2K. I was all about that stuff. I probably stopped like later in high school, but back in the day, me and my brothers would always play Counter-Strike. That was the thing.
Yeah.
As soon as you get out of school, you just log on with all your friends.
Yeah, man. And
Counter-Strike was the best.
It's like that now, but times 100. You know what I mean? Because there's many different games where you can do that now.
I'm sure. My brother's about to buy the PS5 when it comes out. I saw the controller for that. I was like, that's a nice controller.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I'll tell you this one story though about gaming. I remember when I was a kid. This might put my age out there, but whatever. I like saved up as a kid, all this money, all birthday money, and all kind of money, Christmas money, and then I bought a Sega Dreamcast. And the downfall of that, I
burned the games.
I literally bought the second Dreamcast, and then 3 months later it went out of business, and I was like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do with this piece of junk?
Yeah, damn.
I was like, as a kid, I was like, man, that was a waste. Like I literally just spent all my money, and then I can only play so much Crash Bandicoot or whatever.
The first time I saw that, my friend had it, or his dad was holding the box, and then he had this giant like sleeve of CDs, and he had like 300 games in it. He had every single game that was out for the Dreamcast on that, so we can play whatever we wanted. So that was the first time I saw that, and I was like, damn, like I didn't know you can do this. But that's why it went out of business. Because of people like him.
Hey, thanks to that guy, man.
Exactly.
The 8-year-old me just died. Like, oh my god.
You lost your money there.
Yeah, that was a bad investment. I'll never forget that. I was like, I hate Sega Dreamcast. Never again. Never again.
Crazy. Cool, man. Well, thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing some of your knowledge.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm all about athletic training, trying to promote the profession, and just market my business, and just meeting other athletic trainers.
Yeah.
One last thing, like on Instagram, I run the V6 Instagram account, so I follow everything on athletic training. Doesn't matter. Cool. Every school, every whatever sport, whatever you are. If you're athletic training, I'm following you. So it's really nice to meet a bunch of other athletic trainers who are doing the same thing like I'm doing. They're trying to break out on their own. They're doing their own thing. They're seeing their own patients, and you gotta bring other people with you if you're trying to do something, man. Like you can't do it yourself. Not in this world. I'm all about like, tag teaming and piggybacking off each other and just coming up together because.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, bro. And yeah, so any last message for like up and coming athletic trainers, some that are about to graduate or just graduated actually? Because right now we have the COVID-19 going on, so it's harder.
Yeah.
But like, do you have any advice for any recent graduates?
Man, so one thing I do for Athletic Training Month, I do free resume building or free resume consultation, and we do like mock interviews if you want to do that too. And to be honest, a lot of like East Coast kids DM'd me, and we've met online, like Zoom calls like this, and I teach them what I know, and because I'm hiring people as well. And like I said, one of the biggest things I tell them, it takes an athletic trainer to know an athletic trainer. And I remember I saw like 4 kids from one school, and all the resumes looked the same. And I remember just telling one of them, like, what makes you better than your friends? Like, why should I pick you better than your friend? They're like, oh yeah, that's true. Like everyone had the same, details, the same experience. I'm like, honestly, what differentiates you?
Yeah.
I mean, I always send them my resume, and my resume is a little more kind of, what's the word? Just different. I use pictures in mine. My resume looks like a LinkedIn account. To be honest, I've gotten a lot of good positive feedback about that. Because when I learned about resumes in grad school, you want to stand out. You want people to look at your resume, have stuff that appeals to them. And, I made it look like a social media account. That appeals to everybody, They look at my resume, it has some icons, and I've worked with some big companies. So imagine seeing a Coca-Cola, Anheuser-Busch, and Disneyland logo on someone's resume. You're like, oh, I know those brands. What did this guy do? Like, when people see my resume, and when I show other athletic training students my resume, they're like, oh my gosh, this makes me want to read it. Like, hold on.
They're trying to scroll up.
Yeah.
Well, that's so smart because those brands, when you put those logos on there, it's recognizable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I went to San Diego State and Cal State Long Beach, so people know those brands. So I mean, those schools. So that's just one way I chose to market myself as far as resumes goes. Like, just add some color to it. Some, like. Everyone has the same resume. Like, what am I going to do to differentiate myself?
Yeah, that's true.
So just find a way. That would be my message for any athletic training student that just graduated. And either if you guys want to hit me up for a resume consultation, I do that for free just because that's how I like giving back to the athletic training kids. And then try different environments. Like, obviously, we all just did sports, right? We don't know anything about esports or industrial or maybe clinic or hospital setting. I literally have done all of those. Oh, except for esports. But I've done hospital settings. I've worked in PT clinics. I've worked in, just you need a wider range than just sports, especially if long-term sports isn't going to be in your future. Like you want to try everything else. That'd be my biggest thing. Like you guys done industrial. That's good. You guys you guys are much more sharper than someone who's just one-dimensional.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Just like we tell our athletes, you don't want to just do one sport all your life. You want to variety is the spice of life. Put that on the quote of the
right? Spice.
Yeah, variety is the spice. Like, just try it all, man. Because that's what I did when I was right out of college. I was like, man, what do I want to do? Like, it's hard to become the head athletic trainer for the Lakers. What do I gotta do?
Right. It's true, man.
Yeah, just try it, man. Just try everything. Don't say no to any opportunity, because you never know where it might lead you. Because the reason why I got that Disneyland job, I worked a per diem event for like volleyball or something, and I met the guy who works there at Disneyland. I was like, oh, hey man, let me get your card or something. Let me DM you or whatever. And he got me the interview at Disneyland.
Yeah. Yeah, networking, man. That's such a huge part of just in general growing as a person. And then if you got your own business, just making those connections helps a lot.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about having your own business. You can say no or yes to anything. Like, it's your decision.
Right.
Like, I partnered with a bunch of other companies. Like, you ever heard of Shoot 360? I think they're building one in Northridge. Actually, it's like the new age basketball training. Like they have little games on the screens where you can play. They have the basketball where it rebounds for you and it counts your makes and your misses. It's actually pretty cool. You guys should look it up. It's called Shoot 360. It's probably the new wave of how kids will train for basketball, just because it's so advanced in technology. I did a couple of marketing days with them, and I met some people at Nike, because I didn't know this about Nike, but they do kind of like tryouts for their new shoes. They get some like college kids out, and they're like, oh, hey guys, let's play some pickup games and the new shoes that won't come out for like 2 years, and let me know what you think about it. It's their marketing. It's their research and development. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh man, you're an athletic trainer? Oh man, we should hire you for our events, because that'll make our research and development just more, more legit, because now they have health and safety here, just in case these guys want to get taped up. They want to see the real effects of the shoe.
Yep.
So having an athletic trainer there, just, and I got that through a free marketing event that I did.
Yep. Awesome.
Don't say no. Don't say no to opportunities, man. You never know.
Yep.
I'm with you.
I'm with you on that, bro. Take chances, right? Take some risks.
Yeah, man. You guys are young. I mean, try to get your name out there.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Cool,
man. Well, thanks again, bro.
Real quick. For the listeners, if they want to contact you, what platforms are you on, and what's your name? They can look you up.
So for the single girls, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry, that's just one of my things. My other quote, something I live by, is laughter is the best. Laughter is the best medicine. And I'll tell you the story about that one. I don't know what, this is one of my stories. So I remember when I was athletic training student, not even athletic training student, I was just trying to get internship hours just to apply. I don't know if you guys ever had to do that. I just wanted to get hours. So I was doing observation hours. And I remember this one basketball girl, she came up to me. She was like, my finger hurts or whatever. And I just made her laugh throughout the whole like interaction. She forgot her finger hurt. I was like, I didn't do anything.
That's magic though, right? Laughter does magic.
Yeah, I'm telling you, laughter it's the brain, man. Take your mind off the pain. And to be honest, that was better than any ibuprofen she could have taken for that finger. I forgot what I did with her, but like she said it didn't hurt anymore because we were laughing. She's like, I forgot about my finger. So laughter is the best medicine, only because like that because of that reason. And if you're in pain and someone makes you laugh, you instantly just connected with them and you built rapport.
Yeah.
Right.
That's one of the things. So as far as platform goes, Instagram, Facebook, V6 Athletic Training. If anyone wants to add me on Facebook, Vander Castillo. And then we can go from there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to have all your stuff in the description as well, so they can just click on your stuff.
Oh yeah, cool. You cool. Every time I do something like this, I always get a bunch of new followers. I'm like, oh man, that's pretty good outreach, man. I appreciate that. Like
Yeah,
whenever I shout out like anything from like Advantage to other people's businesses, it's all connected, man. Like
it is.
athletic training is a small world. Like you'd be surprised.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's why that's why I like doing this, and I'm new to this. This is something that I'm learning still, but
Yeah, man. There's so many guys. You should keep interviewing and
yeah,
you
I'm having
know.
fun. You know, I'm having fun meeting people, networking. So I'm gonna continue to do this, and I get to connect with Philip, you know, and the other guys, John and Joseph, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
that's
Tell
cool.
myself what's up.
Definitely,
Yeah.
for sure.
Cool.
All right,
All right, guys.
All right. Nice
awesome.
talking to you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Vander. Enjoy the rest of your day,
All right.
bro.
All right, man.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See
Thank
ya.
you. Appreciate you guys.
For sure.